Hi and thank you for joining me today. My name's Laura Mackie. I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I thought I'd share with you how I created this cute little note card holder, which is what I made for my recent Crafternoon Tea event. So it opens up. Got a cute little tag that we used some of the papers to create. The little leaves are just hand cut with scissors. They don't leave much to the imagination because they're not that great, but the ladies attending my Crafternoon Tea, I can't expect them to have everything, so I'm trying to use supplies, basic supplies that they would have at home. So I thought the easiest way to create the leaves was just to draw some interesting shapes onto DSP. Some of the ladies were lucky enough to have a leaf punch or dies, so they then used dies to cut theirs out, but I just used pencil and just cut them from the DSP. So the note card holder is specifically sized to hold our Stampin' Up note cards, but you will see that it's a lovely size which would hold little hand lotions, chocolate. I think you'd get a pair of socks in there. It is a really lovely size. But these are the note cards that I've created to go inside. They all use the Flowers for Every Season DSP, and alongside that with the having a moment, can't think of its name, bear with me, I'm frantically looking on my shelf what the name of the stamp set is, and it is the 4 Season Floral Stamp Set, which is where this and the greetings are from. So yeah, all the cards that go inside. It does hold quite a few cards. I've got 6 here, but it would hold more than 6 with the envelopes. If you'd like the instructions and pictures of the cards, I've actually uploaded that onto my blog so you can download the instructions. And the link for everything, for the blog post and everything, is in the description box below. So let me show you how I made the box. You will need piece of cardstock and Whisper White for the tag, which the measurements for everything are on my blog. 2 sheets of 6x6 designer series paper, or you could use 12x12, and then 2 sheets of A4 cardstock. So we're going to start off by making the inner box part, which measures 23.5 centimeters by 18. Now don't frantically worry about writing these measurements because, like I say, they are on my blog, so you can just head over to my blog and it's all there. With it in portrait, I'm going to score at 7 centimeters and 11 centimeters, and then we're going to turn and score landscape at 7 centimeters and 16.5 centimeters. So that's the base part. And then while we've got our trimmer, we're going to cut the front and the back, which is 2 pieces of cardstock, 10 centimeters by 21. So the width of our cardstock is already 21 centimeters. So we're just going to trim off at 10. And then you're going to score those along the bottom at 4 centimeters on both pieces. And then so that's the front and the back. And then while we've got our trimmer to hand, the DSP you need, just watch if you're cutting a directional paper that you have it the right way. So that's 9.5, and then I'm going to leave the length, but the length if you're trimming it is 15 centimeters. And again, just watching my direction there. So 9.5. So I think that's everything cut. It's nice to do all the cutting at once. I'm just going to set the DSP and the front and back just to one side for a moment. So bringing back the base into shot, and we're going to bone folder all our score lines. There we go. Then cutting, you're going to cut down both of these score lines either side. Oops, it's alive. So cutting down both of those and then turning it. I'm going to do the same the other side. I always find it's easier to repeat from one side to the other. And again, cutting down that score line. And then we're going to just push these bits in because we don't want to cut these bits off. So if we hold them in out of the way, then you're going to trim off this section because we're going to make a little tab out of this. And you want to cut it so the tab's about 1/2 inch, about 1.5 centimeters, and then just tapering off the sides. Keeping those two holding them down, sorry. Can't get my words out. And again, trimming those off. I just find it easier holding these out of the way. You know then you're not going to accidentally cut them off. And again, the same here. So just to create tabs and then just angling them sides off. There we go. Going to lose all that waste. Excuse me. So I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal adhesive. And is this the Stampin' Seal? Oh, this is the Seal Plus, which is actually good. Way. It's quite strong. Quite strong. It's going to take my cardstock then. Do that down the other way. There we go. So that's the seal, and then you can glue it with adhesive tape runner like I've just used, or you can use Tombow. Tombow is my normal go-to, but Stampin' Up have brought out the Stampin' Seal, so I'm just giving it a little run for it to see what it's like, see what I think to it. So far I'm liking it. So that's the little box all made up. Now I did just nip it in at the sides just to give the gusset a little bit of shape. There we go. So then back to these two pieces, which are your front and back. Now I use this punch here to corner round the top. 1, 2. And then the same on the second piece. You don't necessarily, if you don't have a corner punch, don't worry, it's not essential to do that. I just like to just corner round those pieces. Add in your hole punch markings. You're gonna mark 3 centimeters. Well, that pencil's no good, is it? It's got no end to it. 3 centimeters. And 1, 2, 3, so 3 and 7, and then 1 centimeter down, if you can see that. And then I'm going to use the other piece of my punch. Hopefully I'm getting it lined up okay. Yep. And then I'm going to go in. I'm holding it the other way and the two pieces on top. There we go. 1, 2. So there we go. I'm just going to rub out my pencil guidelines. Then just going to bone fold the 2 bottom score lines that we added. Just move that out of the way. And then I'm going to lay them both down flat, and I'm going to add the seal adhesive to the DSP. And adhere that down. Again, at this point, this is the point you want to just make sure if your paper has a direction, that you are sticking it the right way up. This kind of has a direction in that one of the flowers has a little stem, so I'm just lining that up with the neat border. So now I've got my DSP, so I'm now going to lay them both of the DSP down, and then I'm going to add a bit of seal adhesive. I'm probably overdoing it on the Stampin' Seal Plus, but we don't want our things to come apart, do we? So that's that stuck down, and then I'm just going to pop some more adhesive. Not quite got the hang of the action, so the adhesive, I need to go like that, so I know the adhesive is right to the end. And then with that in place, I'm just going to then pop the box piece on between them score lines, and there's just a tiny little border either side. I'm just going to give that a good push down inside with your bone folder. And there you have it. Such a fun, quick project there. And then I'll show you quickly how I made the flowers, just super quickly. So the measurements for this tag are 5 centimeters by 10, and then the little piece is 4.5 by 7.5, and I just pop that into the blue piece, the Misty Moonlight, into there. And then you can stick this down. So stick that down. I think I'm done with this adhesive for now. So I'm just going to put that out of the way. So that's the basis of our tag. Now to create the flowers, really simple. So my leaves, see if I've got here, yeah, you can see how I created the leaves. Nothing fandangle, I literally did just kind of cut leafy shapes. So if you haven't got dies and bits and pieces, you can still create lovely little leaves. Just kind of, leaves are all shapes and sizes, so you don't have to be overly careful. But there's 2 leaves, super quick, super easy. To create the flowers, I'm going to trim this piece of DSP to about a 10 centimeter square. So 10 centimeters square. I'm then going to kind of round it off by just going around and around. This is really not very circle-ish. Well, it is kind of circle-ish, but it's not very circle. If you want to be really precise, you can use a die. But again, I was trying to do it that if people haven't got loads of supplies at home, they could still join me. So then taking my scissors again, I'm just going to go in on the circle and then cut round. And keep going round until you get to the center. Just going to trim that off. I give my flowers lots of haircuts along the way. That's the bonus with these kind of flowers, that you can do that. Really not circly, ending more ovalish, more eggy shaped. But the end result, you can see, is really pretty. And then I'm just giving my flower a base. Now when you roll these flowers, the colour you want to be more visible, you want to roll on the inside. So I want my flower to be yellow. So I'm just taking that between my fingers and just rolling it to get it started, and then rolling. And you want to roll it quite tight between your fingers. And keep rolling until you get all the way to the center. Now these 3 flowers are all cut using that 10 centimeter square to start off with, or 4-inch square, but depending on how tight and how loose when you glue them depends on the varying sizes. So as you can see here, this one I've held really tightly, and then this one I've really let it go quite loose. So just keep rolling. These papers are so pretty, really pretty. Right, nearly there. Nearly there. I just realised the paper on the other side of this paper was one of my favourites. Don't you just hate that? Why does Stampin' Up do that? So I'm going to let this loosen out a little bit. I am going to use Tombow for this. So I add a generous splodging of Tombow. And then I'm going to then sit that. That's probably not quite as tight as I would want it, because I kind of let it go a bit too much, but then hold it. Just going to give that a little bit of a haircut. Holding it, and there we go. I've just crushed that one a little bit. So there's one flower, which I wanted a yellow flower. So that is perfect. And then there's my 2 leaves. So 1, 2, you don't even need and really have to do any more flowers. I've made 3 on that first one, but let's stick this one down. So just using Tombow just to stick that down, and then a little bit of Tombow on the bottom of the flower. There we go. And then to add the tag to the bag, I just used a piece of ribbon, and the ribbon length off the top of my head was about 40 centimeters to give you a nice bow. But there you have it. Really cute, really quick, really easy note card and envelope holder, or whatever you choose to pop in there. Thank you so much for coming by my YouTube account today. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and for any details regarding the products I've used, check out the blog post link below in the description. Thank you. Bye bye.